Welcome back to Wildcard Week of the Norfolk Defenders Madden 06 Rebrand. We have the week off for the bye at least, but we're still going to be playing some action here in just a moment. But first, we're going to go over the wildcard matchups, see who we meet in the divisional round. So first off, in the AFC, we have a battle of the aquatic creatures. We have the Florida Sharks and the Maryland Sea Monsters as we get a look here at the team matchup. The Sharks have the worst total defense and one of the worst turnover differentials in the league. The thing that's been keeping them in ball games is their pass offense. 5th in the league, good for 8th best total offense in the league. But meanwhile, the Sea Monsters, I'm surprised they're not better than they actually are. 5th in total offense, they have the best running offense in the league. I think the best running back, the guy that we were kind of going toe-to-toe with Michaels. And then their defense is not too shabby either. 3rd in total defense. Their rush defense and pass defense are impressive. Their turnover differential is fairly good. I think the one thing is just they might be a little bit lacking in the red zone department as you get a look there at their points per game. Only 18th in the league. But this is one solid offensive and defensive team. So if I had to guess, I think the Sea Monsters should win this matchup. And I don't want to say pretty handily, but you never know. Let's go ahead and simulate this game. Indeed, the Sea Monsters win this one by a score of 31-3, not even a contest here. Let's get a look at the box score. Florida scored their only field goal of the game in the 4th quarter. Next up, in the NFC, we have the Fort Worth Bandits and the Washington Wildcats. Both teams end at 10-6 on the season. And these are some of the more top scoring teams in the league. I know a lot of teams are averaging right around that 18 to 20 point range, but get a look there. The Wildcats have the slight edge on offense, a little bit better on the rush, and definitely better on the pass defense. And then taking a look at the defenses, Washington has a pretty solid rush defense. Both of them are good in the turnover differential, so this should be a pretty even game. Get a look there at the attributes, the ratings above. Bandits are supposedly stronger on defense, an 87, but their offense is an 80, so we'll see if this is a low-scoring game or if it's kind of a shootout as we go ahead to simulate. Wildcats pull off the win, 19-17, a close one as we get a look at the box score here. Both teams traded field goals to end in the 4th quarter, but Washington, who I believe had somebody actually set the record for most field goals, they did the game-winning field goal with just under 4 minutes to go. These guys still play 15-minute quarters when we play 5, so pretty low scoring after the 1st quarter, but Washington ekes out the victory. Back to the AFC, the Colorado Cougars hosting at 8-8, the worst of the division winners. They'll play the Missouri Storm as we get a look here at the matchup. The Cougars, I mean, they score a lot of points, but looking at their offense and defense, they're a little bit below average. They don't quite have the turnover differential. I guess the main thing they have going for them is when they do get into scoring range, they're able to convert fairly well. But looking at the Storm, first in pass defense, total defense is pretty good, just a little bit lacking on the run department. And their offense is fairly solid across the board, a little bit above average. Turnover differential also around average. So you look at the ratings, though. The Cougars are about 85, 86 across the board. Meanwhile, the Storm are 84 in each category except for special teams. So, in terms of personnel, the Cougars should be doing a lot better than they actually are. We'll see if they win this ball game in front of the home fans. No, a 7-6 game. What happened here? Colorado with 2 field goals and Missouri with a touchdown in the 2nd quarter, and that was it. There was no scoring in the 3rd or 4th quarter. My goodness. Let's get a look here. 3rd down efficiency. The Cougars were 10 of 20. Missouri was only 2 of 12, but let's look at the turnovers maybe. Yeah, Missouri with a couple interceptions, so they were holding them when it came down to it, I suppose. Look at that. 42 attempts for Dwayne Howard, who I believe is a real quarterback. So yeah, we've had a laugher and a couple close ones. This one was the low scoring variety. And last up, we have the Cape Coral Crocs, who were able to sneak past the Dynamo for the last playoff spot against the Dakota Buzz. The Buzz were in a little bit of a free fall to end the season as we get a look at the stats here. I mean, the Crocs, we kind of went over this a few times when we went to play them. They have a fantastic offense and defense. Just the main things that have been killing them are the turnovers and a little bit of the points per game. They're kind of in the middle half in terms of points per game, so maybe that conversion, just getting a lot of yards, but not really punching it into the end zone, similar to what the defenders have been doing. Then the Buzz, their offense, not great. Defense is holding them in the ball games. They also don't hold onto the ball very well, but this one's a little bit more of an even matchup in terms of personnel. You get a look there. Offense is about even. Defense is about even. The Buzz just have a slight edge in both of those departments. And they do have the home field advantage, but both teams 10-6. We'll see how this one goes. This is pretty much a toss-up, I would say. Signing free agents. Oh, they had to sign a quarterback to fill out the roster. Interesting. And it looks like the Crocs won, since we are actually playing them in the divisional round. So for the third time this season, we'll be playing the Cape Coral Crocs, and this is for all the marbles. I mean, we lost their first game against them and beat them in the second round, but this one, I mean, depends on who gets the third and final laugh. There's the box score. The Crocs 23-7. The Buzz only scored their only touchdown late in the fourth quarter, so this one was all Crocs early. They were up 23-0 at one point, 23 unanswered points. All right, so we'll get a look here at the other divisional round matchups before we go ahead and get to our game. So again, I'll be taking a look at some of the matchups here, simulating the games, and then going to our game. So first up, we have the Storm and the Marshals. The Marshals, the top seed in the AFC, but the Storm also now have 11 wins after their recent victory. The Marshals' defense just isn't very great. I mean, I'm just looking at this. It's just kind of average numbers. And I'm a little bit surprised that they were the top seed in the AFC. The Storm have a little bit better offense, better points per game, better defense, just the turnover differential, I guess. Like, I mean, they're tied for 15th. The Marshals are 14th, so they're pretty evenly there. Go ahead and simulate this game. Will the Marshals take home the home field W? Indeed they will. 14-9 is the final score. Georgia with 2 touchdowns in the second half, which led them to victory, was one of those. Yes, they did score the final touchdown with 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter, so it was a come-from-behind victory, technically. Marshals pull out the W. Now we got the Sea Monsters and the Snowbirds in the AFC, the other AFC matchup, so this is to play the Marshals in the championship game. Snowbirds at 10-6 were able to get the second seed and the first round bye, as you get a look there at their stats. 5th in points per game. Offense and defense just slightly above average, but they have the second best rush offense in the league. Turnovers were killing them a little bit. And the Sea Monsters, we touched on them previously. They've been good across the board in pretty much all defensive and offensive categories, maybe aside from pass offense. They do have the better personnel as well. 86 overall, 91 special teams. They must have signed one of the best free agent kickers on the market. So I think one of these teams, I mean, based just on their like personnel, could be sneaky good for like a Super Bowl contender, especially the Sea Monsters. I'm going with them in this matchup. We'll see how it turns out. No, the Snowbirds with a 21-9 victory. So Toronto scored first with a touchdown. Maryland fought back. And then Toronto with the dagger with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter scored another touchdown to go up 12 points and never looked back from there. Get a look at the offensive categories. Toronto outgains the Sea Monsters by about a 2-1 margin. And if we were to beat the Crocs, this is the matchup that we're paying attention to here. These are the teams that we could potentially play in the NFC Championship, the Washington Wildcats and the Louisiana Sailors. We beat the Wildcats earlier in the year. It was a bit of a tough matchup. I think that actually started our long winning streak, but it was not an easy game, as you get a look there. Wildcats on a 3-game win streak, the Sailors on an 8-game winning streak, and both teams, decent offense. Sailors have a little bit of an edge in the defensive departments. Both teams good against the run. Wildcats with a slightly better turnover differential, but these are some high-scoring teams. You get a look there, 4th in the league and 2nd in the league. Sailors, in terms of their ratings, just a little bit better. So this is it. If we beat the Crocs, this is the team that we will face in the NFC Championship. We'll go ahead and simulate the game. And the Sailors take that one handily, 31-6. My goodness. Look at the box score. Washington actually scored first, the only team to score in the first quarter, and from there on out, it was all Sailors. Might have even had 31 unanswered points. Not quite. So, but still, 24 unanswered points for the Sailors led them to the victory. They didn't even really have that much total offense, so maybe some turnovers came back to get Washington. As you get a look here, yeah, it looks like Green threw a couple interceptions. Might have led to some pick six opportunities or shortened fields for the Sailors, but that is it. The Sailors, I mean, I'm scared of them, man. They have now won 9 in a row. But first, we have to avenge the Crocs one more time. Got to look at their stats in the previous game. They are flying on offense and defense, but our defense is first in the league. We have the best rush defense, best turnover differential, and our running offense with Michaels back in the game after taking a breather this last week will be very beneficial. So just the big question mark, I guess, for us is pass offense. Can we have it going today, and will we get into the end zone consistently? That's the biggest thing right there. So this is it. This is the first game of the playoffs in the divisional round against the Cape Coral Crocs, looking to fend them off for once and for all. Get a look there at the series record. 1-1 tie. We won the last matchup. First matchup was actually very low scoring, but the Crocs just keep coming back. They fought and clawed their way to the playoffs after dropping to 500. They won a few in a row, so they're on a bit of a hot streak. They, like I said, won a few straight, won the wild card round, and this is it. We have the benefit of playing them at home this time. It's a Saturday night in January. Week 19 matchup technically, but we're in the divisional round of the playoffs, and Cape Coral will get the toss. We'll see how the wind factors into the game here today in Norfolk, Virginia. They select heads, and it was tails, so we win the toss. Wind is very minimal, which I enjoy. All right, we will probably start off the game with a run to Michaels, depending on the return by Lamont. We have not had a good kick return touchdown this season, so this would be a great place to start. Not so. Lamont tries to cut it back up the middle, gets close to the 30-yard line, but not quite. Let's go with the halfback blast out of the strong formation. I mean, I feel like the last few weeks I've started off with the halfback counter in the I formation pretty much every time. It is one of my favorite plays, but can't keep relying on the same plays consistently. I don't know if the AI has a learning material here, but Michaels still gets a gain of 10 right off the bat, a first down to begin the game, and now we can try that halfback counter that I mentioned. Like I said, can't do it every play, but we might as well do it early. Get us down the field, get some solid offense going. Can't quite get too much on that run or break it up to the side. Only a gain of 2 on that one, so 2nd and 8. Let's go with some play action here on 2nd down. Crocs are a little bit better against the run than the pass, I think I remember, but still pretty solid either direction. Sending the blitz. I hit the wrong button. I wanted to go to Minter, but went to Abbott, who shed his blocker, went out for a pass. Can't be doing that in the playoffs. Can't be hitting the wrong button. So big 3rd and 8 from close to midfield, and we're probably going to have to go to Minter or Michaels on this passing play here. Crocs, ooh, they drop back into zone coverage, but the pressure got to carry a little bit before he's able to get off the throw to Michaels. Would have been a close one had he gotten the ball there. But regardless, it's a 4th down. Crocs gave up a little bit of yardage on the ground, but eventually forced the punt try. We'll see if we can pin him inside the 20. Not quite out of bounds, so Grant will have an opportunity to return the ball, and he takes it out to about the 25. 1st and 10, I'm going to go with the blitz. Larson, the running back for the Crocs. I'm not sure if they still have the same quarterback, though, since they had to sign somebody. It's Stewart. Hicks is able to get past our defender, who was there to maybe make a stop or try and knock the ball away, but only a gain of 2, thankfully, after that first defender missed. And now, Crocs from the shotgun, 4 wide receiver set. Wait, is this Cordell Stewart? I just realized he's pretty old in this game, but I still think he's in Madden 06. Let's see if the Crocs have Cordell Stewart at quarterback. Oh wow, so McFarland got injured, and indeed it is Cordell Stewart, 70 overall. Both of their quarterbacks, oh I guess McFarland's questionable, but Calvin Moore's out for the season, their backup, so they had to sign Cordell Stewart off the street last week before the wild card round. That alone, I mean, props to them for winning their last matchup, but if we lose to Cordell Stewart, I might cry. In fact, I'm surprised they're actually passing as much as they are so far today. Stewart's not a terrible quarterback, but like you'd think they'd go with the run just a little bit more heavy, especially to start off the game. But here we are, the Crocs have the ball around the 40-yard line. They just got a first down on that passing play. Larson in the back. This one's going to be a play action throw. Wide open is Hicks. Man, he's a sizable dude. Can't really get much of a burst of speed after that, so only a gain of a couple. 2nd and 6 upcoming. 5th play of the drive for the Crocs. They've chewed up about a minute on the clock and slowly making their way down the field. See if we can stop them here on 2nd and medium. Another drop back to pass. They have a couple wide receivers right close to each other. Now they're going deep into double coverage. Knocked away, I think, by Cleveland, just barely. Both of our guys were a bit turned around on that one. 3rd and 6, and the Crocs again going with a 4 wide receiver set. Shotgun formation with Larson going out to the left. And that button hook or little route to the sideline does not quite work. Stewart's pass led the ball out of bounds. Not much of an opportunity to catch it there, so both teams stall out about at midfield, and 2 minutes into the first quarter, nothing doing for either side. Lamont will take the punt here, about at the 20. Maybe an opportunity to get a few yards here. Just want him to hold on to the ball. He's put the ball on the ground a few times so far this year. Let's go with the toss play on 1st down. They haven't been too fortunate this year, but we have a lot of room out to the left, and this play is designed to go out to the left, although they are double covering Page, or maybe sending the corner on the blitz, which could be... No, it was double coverage. Both of them went out on the wide receiver. Instead of blocking, he sold the pass very well, and Michaels was able to get a good gain of about 10 to 12 on that one. Only a few on that carry, but I missed having Michaels, you know, like on the ground last week. We just, that burst of speed he seems to have that like the other backs didn't. I know Jones is kind of more of a power back, but even Williams, like the few times that we ran with him, just wasn't really there. Those little routes to Kozlowski just never seemed to work. I mean, he's wide the F open. I don't know if I'm just throwing it in there too hard with the dart or something, but like, there have been some times where even just a lob leads him out of bounds. Lamont's open. And it was near his ankles, but he's able to adjust for the catch, and we're across the 50. So here we are. We need at least one more 1st down to get into what I would consider field goal territory. We can't stall out at the midfield area again, as Michaels gets nothing on that one. Might have even lost like half a yard. We'll try a play action rollout here on 2nd down. Looks like they're actually blitzing, so this could be not great. I should really work on my audibles. I mean, pretty much all of them are runs or play action, so I need like a good pass play to switch to. I think I changed them once, but then they reverted right back, so maybe I have to do it like outside of the actual game situation. Page single coverage? Yes, sir. I didn't even switch over to him because I'm like, I know the CPU is going to have the best chance of like a 50-50 ball. There we go. There's a big pass play. We don't get those very often. A 30-yard pass. We're inside the 10-yard line after the play. Carey able to extend on a 3rd and long. And now Michaels inside the 5, but gets stopped before the end zone. We need to punch this in. I should probably trust my run defense or run offense a little bit more, but they're going to drop into a zone. Michaels has so much room over there on the left, and that's a touchdown. You cannot leave him to his own devices over there. He will make you pay. 4-yard score over the air technically goes to a running back. I mean, that's been a theme all season. Even though we drop back to pass, we throw it to Michaels. And a solid offensive showing here on the drive, especially that 3rd down play down the left side on the streak pattern. Leads us to good things. And now it's up to our defense. Page with a 43-yard reception to keep the drive alive. And now our defense needs to show up against Cordell Stewart. Again, though, props to the Crocs. I mean, I have no idea when their actual starting quarterback went down. I think it was after our 2nd game against them. So the fact that you had 2 quarterbacks kind of go down within a few weeks of each other and have to sign a guy out of free agency going into the playoffs is one tough feat. Here's a handoff to Hicks, the big tub. Nothing doing there. 2nd and 10. Here's another handoff, this time to Larson. And our defense kind of stays at home. Reads the run, only allows a couple yards on the carry. 3rd and 8. Go with another cover 2 package here. 20 seconds left in the first quarter. This play may take us to the end of the quarter. 2 wide receivers to the left. A couple running backs in the backfield. pressure got to him, and that throw would have been contested anyway since the running back and wide receiver were right there next to each other. So the Crocs for the second time will punt, this time after a 3-and-out, and we will get the ball back to essentially start the second quarter. Lamont's going to fair catch this one at about the 30. Ooh. Had me a little scared there, Lamont. You caught it a little bit closer to the ground. 1 second left in the first quarter. We're going to try another toss or sweep play here as the Crocs bring in some players near the box. Kozlowski with the block. There we go. Wide receiver again. Sells the streak pattern, and Michaels with a gain of about 20 on that one to end the first quarter. We're up 7-0, and our offense is starting to click a little bit. Starting to click, especially against this tough Crocs defense. They're like top 5 in the league typically. Oh, I had Abbott across the middle. I was just waiting for him to cut, but the pressure from the sack gets there, 2nd and 17. Some good looks here by the Crocs on a few occasions. Just we've been driving besides that. Michaels, oh my goodness. That was a terrible throw there by Carey. Might have been off my back foot or with the pressure. Another 3rd and 17. I don't think we're going to convert this one like we did last drive, but we'll give it a shot. The deep attack here with Brown or maybe Minter. Is Minter going to be single coverage? Carey gets destroyed on the pressure again and has to let that one go. A little bit early and a little bit more down the middle than what I'd like, but ball falls incomplete. No harm, no foul. Wasn't picked off. And now we can see if we can pin the Crocs in their own territory. So a good start to the drive, but last 3 plays after the sack were a bit tough. That one's going to sail out of bounds near the 25. Not quite the coffin corner we were looking for, but Crocs still fairly in their own territory. This looks like a run package here for the Crocs to begin their possession. Sending Brown in motion over to the left, so now they have double receivers over to the left side. Ball goes out to the right though, and Larson doesn't get much on that carry, maybe a yard. 2nd and 9, again they have a couple guys up front that look like it's a run. Larson gets nothing on that one, might have lost the yard or half yard that he got last time around, and now a big 3rd and 10 for the Crocs from their own 25. 4 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Doing some slants. Stewart gets sacked. He had his man across the middle. I think might have been open for the first down yardage, but wasn't able to get there, and Crocs for the 3rd time today are going to punt. Just going to let this one go out of bounds. Avoid that fumble animation that we had last week. Still get the ball close to the 40-yard line. So we've had some successes here on the first down toss and sweep plays. This time I'm going to go back to the counter since it also seems to work a good amount of the time. There's Kozlowski. Oh, wide receiver couldn't hold his block, but that's okay. Still a gain of 7. That would have been a supreme run right there. It's just kind of waiting for the blocks to develop, you know. Oh, Minter couldn't hang on. I was waiting for that one guy to commit to either the quarterback or the receiver so that he didn't make an interception or have the ball go right to him. And we eventually found Minter, but the ball got jarred loose on the hit. Michaels is open. Close to the 30-yard line, and that's why I like having Michaels go out on those receptions as opposed to Kozlowski. Not because of his speed and what he can do after he catches the ball, but just the fact that he can catch the ball in the first place. Trying this play, usually the blocking kind of fails, so we'll see. One of our offensive linemen was able to go out to the left and pick somebody up, but sometimes just, they come across down the middle, the defense, and they just smack the ball carrier immediately. Works out this time for a gain of 7, so I'll take that. Nearing the midway point of the second quarter. Good timing there on that button hook to Page. He gets us close to the 10-yard line. We'll still have a 1st and 10 as opposed to a 1st and goal. The pressure was just a little bit slow on that one. They've been doing some work on our offensive line towards sacking Carey. Carey has some room to run here. Oh, that guy came off of Brown and he was open. Instead, we lose a yard. Bummer. I thought I had so much room to run, but then that guy just came in full force. See if Page comes across the middle here if we have Michaels out to the left on his own. He's able to stay inbounds and get close to the 5-yard line, but it's going to be a 3rd and 4 upcoming. Let's go with the short slants. If the play's not there, I'm throwing it out of bounds. We just need points in this situation. Touchdown's great. Field goal is still good. Yep. Blitz got to me. Coverage was there. I might have had Abbott open to the right, but that's where the pressure was coming from. So throw the ball away. Take the easy field goal. Should be a chip shot. That should do the trick right down the middle, and we take a 10-0 lead on the Crocs. As we are just past the 2-minute warning, they will have an opportunity to maybe take some shots down the field with Stewart. Ball's taken out to about the 25, and yep, there you go. 5 wide receiver set right out of the gate. We're going to control Connor here to get the 5th wide receiver of the bunch, which is Stevens. See if they try a screen or something across the middle, though. There goes Stevens in motion. Yeah, that throw was supposed to be out to him, just a little like 4 or 5 yard route out to the side. I think Stewart was kind of pressured though at quarterback. See if they try the same thing this play. Another hit as he threw, and not much on that one, so our defense is doing some work here. 2 straight incompletions on heavy pressure just with the rushing 4. So let's try this play, get some double zones out to the sidelines, and we got Connor across the middle. Coombs is able to knock that one away. One of our guys bit on some of the coverage, but thankfully Coombs was kind of staying on the zone. The Crocs just no luck today on offense. That's their 4th punt of the game, of the first half. And we might have a chance now to add some points with 1.5 minutes on the clock and all 3 timeouts. Maybe even a short field. This one's going to be fair caught at the 45. You know, we could probably even run the ball if we wanted to. I'm going to try the toss play again here to Michaels, since that's worked a few times for significant yards. Although they are stacking the left. Maybe I'll try it out to the... Play clock's going to run out here, but I think a run up the middle might be better served. Michaels gets tripped up after a gain of 4 or 5. Maybe had a bit of a hole to get past down the first down marker. Not so. But we got the ball at the 50. 2nd and 5. Might be able to pick it up on the run here. Yep, Michaels will fall across the 45 for the first down, and now we can start to show a little bit of a pass or run. Try this play. We got Abbott out to the right. Page across the middle. That ball's a bit behind where I wanted to throw it, but still a completion for 5. This one's a play-action play, but they only have one guy over to the left who looks like he's showing blitz. Does not. He drops back into coverage. Brown across the middle. Through all the safeties. Gets out to the 15. Nice little pocket of open space right there. I love it. So can we get into the end zone in the last 30 seconds here? Let's take Lamont. He'll get us out to the 5. No, he's going to race in for the touchdown. He just gets across the end zone plane. And there we go. 26 seconds left in the second half. So Cape Coral will have a little bit of an opportunity here. Maybe with 1 or 2 deep balls. Here's Grant's on the return. Gets out to about the 30-yard line. So Cape Coral has a few chances here to go down the field. Like I said, all 3 to their timeouts. If they convert 1 pass like that, maybe a couple more, they'll have a chance at the Hail Mary, but we just basically don't want them to get to about like the 30-yard line, 35. So as long as we can hold them to like our side of the field or maybe shortly after the midfield mark, that would be fine with me. It's going to be another timeout just ahead of the 50-yard line, and you know what, I'm just going to do like the prevent from here. If they want to do a little 5 or 10-yard dump off pass and try for the Hail Mary, that's fine, but I just can't let them get into field goal range because that would be the easiest point opportunity. What is going on here? He had all day to throw it, and like time was at a standstill for a few seconds with the receivers and stuff all in the same place, and just decided to throw it with nothing there. Oh goodness. Coombs with a tackle at the 1 yard line, but how do you let that happen? How do you let that happen with the prevent defense? Like, good God, I have 6 guys back there. Maybe even 7. Well, we prevented the touchdown. Thankfully, only led to a field goal. I mean, I don't even think the field goal should have been allowed. What the prevent defense should be is so that you don't get deep or beat deep, and that's almost what happened there. Crocs will also get the ball to start the second half, so they'll build on it. They won't be as aggressive as they were to end the second quarter, but don't want that to continually happen. Can't let those big plays down the field happen. Here's Larson on the carry, gets about 4 or 5. 2nd and 6, 3 receivers out for the Crocs. They're going to try a screen play here. Connor, for whatever reason, was strafing. Maybe my button got stuck or something. Wasn't able to make the play right away. Still held them before the first down. Just running around in circles here. Okay, so the button is not stuck. Not sure what happened there. They try the handoff with the 4 wide receiver set, but Connor, Larson was his man, was able to break through the hole, make the stop. Fans are loving it, and that is a 4th down. So I just realized that possession at the end of the half was the first time that the Crocs didn't end their possession with a punt. And it was a field goal from the 1 yard line. Like, I don't know. It's still a close game. The field goal made it a 2-possession game again, but like, you know, if this was the real life NFL, would you consider going for it on a 1st and goal from like the half-yard line with only 1 second? Like, it's you're in or you're out. Do you take the 3 points or you take the gamble? Either way, you're still down by at least 10 points. The main theme of the game from here on out, though, is keep the football in our hands. We can't allow for any opportunities for the ball to be put on the ground. Don't want to have to, like, you know, be a tortoise, like, hiding in its shell for the next 2 quarters. But if that's what I have to do, like we were able to get Michaels, get around that guy. Gain of 4 on that one. Not sure what happened. I should have been able to maneuver across or away from my offensive lineman for the first down. Didn't quite happen. They just do not want to cover Michaels over there, and the face mask will tack on another 15 yards. We'll have the ball at the 40-yard line. One more play with Michaels before I think he goes to the sideline for a breather. So here is the handoff. I lost nothing doing there on first down. I kind of was a little bit shocked that our blocking just failed so miserably right there. Or just the guy had such a good one-on-one opportunity. So there's the pass to Michael. I can't believe he's still in the ball game. I thought he's going to be tired after the last 2 plays, but little dump off there gets us a first down. 5 consecutive passes completed by carry. I think that's only the 2nd or maybe 3rd time this season we've actually had that show up here. There's 6. Abbott to the 15. Our passing game is doing some work right now. But again, don't want to chance anything too much. And the field goal here just gets us back to the 17, like 3 possession range. So we can afford to just run some clock here. Or just keep the ball on the ground. Is that another face mask? Okay. This one will only get us half of the distance to the goal, but that's still the 3-yard line. See if we can give this one to Kozlowski, get a few yards, maybe give Michaels a bit of a break. Just power it into the end zone. Not much there on Kozlowski's end, maybe a yard, but Michaels is significantly less tired. Let's do the smash play here. 8 plays, 63 yards, almost 2 minutes off the clock. That's exactly what you love to see. I would just love to capitalize it with a touchdown. Play nearly blew up in the backfield, but somehow we were able to get a yard on the play. So 3rd and goal, like, just keep trying to power through. If we miss, like, I'll probably consider the field goal again instead of, like, going for it on 4th and goal. I don't know. Michaels, doesn't matter, gets it on 3rd down. He's into the end zone, and that will push the lead up to 21 after the extra point. It's exactly the drive I was looking for. Punch it into the end zone, take some time off the clock, do it in a variety of different manner with the runs and the passes. Perfectly well done drive. I mean, the penalty yards got us a few extra yards along the way, but there you get a look at Michaels. Pretty much even split between reception and rushing yards. And this is, I think, our most defining game against the Crocs to this point. Like, obviously they aren't at full strength with the quarterback situation, but their defense, I mean, their defense is pretty well constructed and well touted. Like, they're just not really doing what they have typically done throughout the season. We're putting them to task. There's Hicks on the handoff. The big fella picks up a few. I think for the audience's sake, I should probably go and see how large this guy is. Where's the player information? I guess you can't see how big somebody is in the game. That's kind of a bummer, but my God, that guy's a tank. What is that throw? What the heck? Cordell, what are you doing? All right, 3rd and 8. I'm going to go with the man coverage just because the prevent let me down last time. Less of an opportunity for a big play on man coverage. And the pressure gets to quarterback anyhow, so for the 5th or maybe even 6th time today, Crocs will have to punt. Getting late in this one, 1.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter, and we'll get the ball. We'll run out some clock from here. One of our most decisive victories, and like I said, that 3 points honestly shouldn't even really happen. Not as much on this toss, but Michaels is still able to get a couple yards on the play. 2nd and 8. Go with the play action, and I was going to see if I should audible if they bring a blitz. It doesn't look like they are, so yes, indeed, they're going to drop back into coverage. Michaels, a bit of a tough adjustment to turn his body, but that would have been a long gain. Can't even believe I saw him open over there. We'll try for the 1st down over the air, and if we don't get it, like, a punt's not the end of the world, so... Man, their defensive lineman just bull rushed into carry. I thought we'd have plenty of time with 1 or maybe even 2 blockers over there, but was not so. Punt is a little lacking on the accuracy, but it's going to sail out of bounds anyhow around the 30-yard line. So we maybe ate like close to 45 seconds off the clock, and, you know, not our best possession, but as long as it keeps the ball away from the Crocs a little bit longer as we get later into the game, that's fine. Only a gain of 1 on the running play there by Cape Coral. Once the 4th quarter turns, they're going to have to start airing it out a lot more. And that's kind of just based on the computer AI to some extent. Oh, Cordell gets absolutely lasered. Still nearly almost didn't pick up the fumble recovery, but the one time he decides to take matters into his own hands, or his own feet, I should say, boom. That might be the hardest fumble hit I've had all season. Let's take a look in slow motion here. Bam, that's what happens when you, that's what happens when you try and take matters into your own feet as a quarterback. You are a player who is susceptible to getting hit, and especially in that situation, you know, the Crocs don't really have very many quarterbacks, so that was risky. Like, he didn't get injured, but what do you do in that situation if he does get injured? Michaels bounces off a few players, gets us closer to the 30-yard line, and that's going to do it for the 3rd quarter. So we're up by 21 points, a pretty significant amount against one of our divisional rivals who plays us tough on defense, and we have an opportunity to maybe even make the lead go a bit higher on this drive here. Just need a few more yards to get into a comfortable position. Here's Michaels on 2nd down. I think he crossed the 1st down marker. Yes, he did. He might have also just crossed the 100-yard marker, averaging about 5 yards per carry, 20 rushes for 102 yards. We take that. Might also get to the point where I think about taking him out of the game, just because at this point the game's pretty much won. We can just take into account next week. That was a risky throw, but Abbott, look at the big guy pull it down inside the 10. To our credit, look at Justin Carey, only 1, 2, 3, I guess like 8 incompletions on the day, but he's been really consistent. One of his best consistency levels of games this season. Obviously, we'll take a look at the stats after the game. We're out possessing the Crocs 2-1, outgaining them almost 3-1. Another blitz or pressure on the play action, slow developing. So 3rd and goal, yeah, we'll do a drop play. We don't really need to get into the end zone, just protect the ball. I say after I throw to Abbott a couple plays ago. So Michaels will put us down the middle of the hashes, and this should be a Another easy field goal for Mansfield from 25 yards. A little bit longer than the extra points in this game. There we go, and we have maxed out our 3-possession lead. Crocs are down 24 points. They need 3 touchdowns with a 2-point conversion in each of those to even tie us here with just under 4 minutes to go. So they needed like 8 points every minute to basically tie the game, which I don't think our defense is going to fail that spectacularly. And in the last few weeks, we've been a lot less reliant on like points off of turnovers. Like, sure, we had that forced fumble that led to a field goal, but like we haven't had to, you know, have as many defensive touchdowns. We had one week where like literally all 14 of our points were off of turnovers. Was that against the Crocs? I can't remember. It might have been. But this is by far and away our most decisive game against the Crocs so far this season. Grant with the catch only gets him 5 before he gets let out of bounds. And if that's what they want to do, if they just want to do little 4 or 5 yard passes the rest of the game, fine with me. Cleveland should have had that one, but it's a 4th down regardless. Crocs are going for it. I should have assumed that. It is the playoffs after all. Can't just wave a white flag, even though it's getting close to that point anyway. Going with the screen on 4th down, and that one's at his feet because of the pressure. So a turnover on downs. And that'll likely do it for the Cape Coral Crocs season. I'm going to go ahead and put in Williams at running back and Jones at the 3rd down back so we can give Michaels a break for the rest of the game. He's already hit his 100 yards, and now our efforts are to make sure that he's ready to go for next week. There'll be a date with the Louisiana Sailors, and I don't want to get too ahead of myself because there's still a little bit of game and, you know, anything's possible, but for all intents and purposes, there goes Williams. Cuts it out to the 15. Can't quite get around the defender to the end zone, but nonetheless, a really impressive run there. Look at our passing yards. Pretty significantly ahead of the rushing. We're going to be rushing like the rest of the game, but Carey, like I said, one of his best passing games of the season. Williams gets inside the 10-yard line. Not much on that handoff, and it's going to look like another field goal situation here for Mansfield. Again, nothing really doing here. Let the clock run down past the 40-second mark, so once this run takes place, we can go ahead and just run down to the 2-minute warning. Nothing there for Jones, and here we go. It's going to be a 27-yard field goal, so Mansfield getting plenty of chip shots so far this game, as well as the extra points. Nothing from too long of a range. And this field goal will put us up by 4 possessions, score of 30-3 with the conversion. Just gonna, again, let it run out to the 2-minute warning first. There's the field goal by Mansfield, puts us up, like I said, 30 points in the game. Just an absolute thorough whooping of the Crocs so far today. That that field goal we let up, though, is going to live in my mind a bit rent-free going into next week. Like, this could be a shutout if our prevent defense just managed to, you know, not let anybody get past them like they were supposed to. Barring any last-second plays here within the 2-minute warning for the Crocs, they might still well like score a touchdown or something. I just don't see them settling for a field goal at any point. There goes Stewart again. This time he's able to get the 1st down. Holds on to the football. Nearly intercepted there, but falls incomplete. 2nd and 10. Stewart again gets pressured. Can't get the ball away. 3rd and 10 with the 5 wide receiver set. Our front 4 has been doing a lot more consistent work over the last few weeks as well. I know for like the first half of the season, they just couldn't really get much going. And Stewart again gets sacked. 4th and 14, they're just going to go ahead and punt. So for our last possession, once Lamont receives the punt here, I think we should be able to kneel with the quarterback without any fear of having the Crocs call any timeouts. We'll see after the first one, though. But that is it. This is the ball game. We're just going to go ahead and let the clock run on this one. A 30-3 victory over our division rival, the Crocs, and that will send us into the next week against the Louisiana Sailors. And the Crocs do not, in fact, call a timeout, so they're just going to let this one roll to the end of the game. Just one more kneel to go after that one, and that should be game. It'd be really funny if the Crocs called a timeout after this one on the 4th down, but I doubt it. Oh, they are going to call timeout. Slimy bastards. There's Michael's player of the game, over 150 yards total, and the Crocs will, I guess, try and score 4 touchdowns in the span of 30 seconds, just to be cheeky. Last possession, they weren't able to get anything going. Stewart was just pressured and sacked. I mean, aside from the 1 first down he got on his legs, they just have had no passing game at all today. No timeouts for the Crocs, though. Clock will continue to run. They're going to... Wait, they did have one more timeout. Okay, guess they'll use it there. After 8 seconds ran off the clock as they scrambled back to the line of scrimmage. I should have saw this coming. Hail Mary. Reed with the pick 6. And there is your end of the ball game. And there we go. Finally, the kneel. This time will settle the deal. Crocs don't have any timeouts. Aren't able to be annoying anymore. 30-3. I forget how big the win was over the Steamers, but that is one of our most thorough, dominant performances of the season. It just so happened to come against our division rivals in the playoffs. We will go to the NFC Championship. Just 4 teams remain, and we are still on a long winning streak. We hope it continues for the next couple weeks here into the Super Bowl. But first, it will be a matchup with Louisiana at home. We'll get a look at the matchup with the Sailors here in just a moment, but before we do that, we'll do the stats, and then I will simulate the other playoff game next week in next week's video, so we'll see who makes it to the Super Bowl then. So here are the stats. Justin Carey, a 123.2 rating, just shy of 200 yards passing, 13 for 21 over the air with 2 touchdowns. Michaels with 107 rushing yards. Williams also had a decent run. He had 21 on the ground. And receiving, I mean, again, spread the ball around. Michaels with some dump offs at the running back. Page with that long 43-yard reception plus a couple extra catches. Abbott with some catches. Lamont and Brown had a few. Just a thorough offensive team victory there, which is what you love to see. Michaels again with over 150 total yards and a couple touchdowns. That's been the name of the game for the majority of the season. Nearing that 100 rushing yard mark and anywhere from like 30 to 50 yards receiving. So there you have it. We have the Sailors and the Defenders in the NFC, and in the AFC we have the Snowbirds and the Marshals, the top 2 seeds, going head to head in that one. Again, we'll simulate next week just to see who makes it to the Super Bowl. I'm having some trouble remembering though. Did we play the Sailors earlier this season? We did. That was our second matchup of the season. We beat them 30-17. It was just like some of the team's color schemes and stuff blend together, but that one was a while ago. So one of their 5 losses came early in the season, but they've been on a run since then. It could be a completely different team. We'll get a look here at the team matchup. So total offense did a little bit of work for us last week, but the Sailors have the 3rd best total offense package, 6th in both rush and pass offense, and their defense is also pretty good. So were the Crocs after our last matchup with them, but they are also just slightly ahead of us in points per game. So they do convert when they are able to move the ball, kind of like what we did this last week against the Crocs. Just the main knock on them, and that's not even that big of a knock because they're right around the league average, is their turnover differential. So should be a good matchup. Just have to make sure that we force a few turnovers, or our defense kind of holds true. Might give up some yards, but we got to bend and not break, maybe force a few plays in order to win the ball game. If our offense though shows up like they did today, should be just fine. So it's been a longer video as we went over the wild card round and played our game against the Crocs, but we're nearing the end of season number 1. Maybe 2 more games to go. We have at least this conference championship against the Sailors, maybe the Super Bowl after that. I will not be playing the Pro Bowl, and then after the Super Bowl, however we finish, I will go ahead and do the off-season video with the draft, the signings, free agency, all of that fun stuff. So thank you for being with us the entire way as we get into the near crown jewel of the playoffs. Just 2 more weeks to go. We have the conference championships and then the Super Bowl. We'll see how far Norfolk can get. Again, they are on a long winning streak, but then again, so are the Sailors. So somebody's going to have to go home empty-handed here next week. Signing off for now, this is Kasabe.